Welcome to Elm Creek. I have nothing. I have no farmland, and as you might notice, I have no money whatsoever. And the idea here is to try and get ourselves from zero to something. The best way to do that from the start is by contracts. It's the only way we're going to earn money. So we got to go hunt, see what contracts need doing, and see what we can do. Like this video if it is your sort of thing. Okay, well, thankfully, straight off the rip, we're able to get a contract about 7,000. This is going to help us out big time. I have no idea how long this is going to take us to try and get us established, but all we can do is just get on with it and begin, really. It's going to take us a lot of contracts before we can really get anywhere to start having our own farm, start producing our own stuff. Some of the cheapest land is still in the tens of thousands, and then we've got to get equipment as well. Oh boy. Quite a big field. It's going to take us a little while, but we'll just crack on with it and hopefully get this money. Back at the new tractor, I suppose. This is going to be interesting. It's going to be our first load. So fingers crossed we can get quite a lot in here. As long as we can keep on going, all will be well. Subscribe if you're on board for this kind of video and I'll hopefully do some more. Oh, that is good. That is good. So we can at least get 2 goes at it. That's going to be real handy for us. So as I'm closing in on getting this second amount done, I've had a bit of a think, right? Many hands make light work. I think it would benefit me if I emptied this load into the trailer, right? Run the trailer to the farm shop to sell it. Once I sell it, I get a little bit of money, don't I, for selling the crop? And use that money, hopefully, to hire a helper. We have Finny. Okay, cool. So with that in mind, I'm a celebrity, get me out of here and see if we can't get some money for this stuff. Here we go. So we can sell this, then we can use the money, hopefully, for a helper. That'll be really fantastic, actually. Let's see how it goes. I guess not then. I guess we'll only get some cash when we complete the contract. Damn. Well, I guess we better roll our sleeves up and get working, since that idea is not going to work for us. Never mind. Never mind. Where there's a will, there's a way. Well, we're on to the very last strip at least, so that's always a good thing. After that, it's just a case of unloading and getting the contract money. It is done as much as it can be. That was appalling. We'll get this delivered, and then we'll give all the stuff back. And we'll complete the contract and we'll have some money. We do have a little bit of good news though. On the way, we have just checked the contracts and we've got some more contracts that are available. One of them is going to be a baling and silaging contract. So here we are then. Second lot ready to go. So long, farewell. And while we're here, I'll grab that contract. It is this contract and it's worth 9 grand. Bada bing, bada boom. Empty that. Nice. Okay, so the contract is finished, and we do get a little trickle of harvest income. 1 contract collected. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, well, we only get 1 tractor with this contract, so that's going to be interesting, but we'll see what we can do. I could lease another one. I don't know if that's going to be actually beneficial for us. We'll have a look, see what the size of the field is like first, I guess, and then we'll go from there, really. Thinking about it, I've got to wrap these bales, so this mower that I've got on the back might not actually be much of a help. I mean, yeah, it'll help me cut the grass more, but if I've got to run a baler, I might as well just run the baler behind the tractor. Rightio. Let's see if we have the power to do this. I hope we do, but I genuinely don't think we will have. So we're going to try and mow, and we're going to try and bale at the same time. I know it's going to be a lot of passes. Oh, maybe we should windrow it. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of passes for sure, but all we can do is try it, right? I mean, it's filling up pretty quick as well, so that's going to be crazy. And I suppose all the bales are then going to roll away, aren't they? That's better. Now we've gone for bigger bales rather than the smaller bales. We might actually, we might actually get a bit more grass. I don't think I can wrap these big bales. I think I can only wrap 150s. Oh well, we'll find out. So that's 1 bale we definitely probably won't be able to wrap, but the rest will be fine. Holy smokes, that is a lot of bales. That has took a while. Just this last strip to cut, which is going to be annoying because I'm not going to get anywhere near a bale out of it. And then what I'm going to do is take these down to the bio plant. And then when I take them down to the bio plant, I can then pick up the other one of these. Oh, I'm not going to be able to get this, am I? Come on. It's a bit sketchy, but it's on. That's not good. Come on. Well, at least it didn't roll away. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. This is what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be taking these to the bio plant. I guess basically then we're just going to have to be going backwards and forwards, bringing them down here. And I've got to put them somewhere where I can then wrap them, put them down here somewhere. All should be good. Yeah, so that big bale that we've just picked up, we are not going to be able to wrap. So that's going to be really not cool. Just one thought though, while I am out here struggling with these bales, I can set actual helpers up. I can do helpers now because I do have some money, so there is another harvesting contract that I can set some helpers up to do. At the very least they can run the combine. Build 74 way down south, see if we can go get it, get a helper on it, sort it out, bring in some more money. It's what we need. The good news is this is us, so I can square up. There we go. We can put a helper on him. Hopefully that means that the helper is going to get that field done. I'm also looking at fields and I need about 50,000 for the cheapest field, so we've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. There we go. That should cook him for a little longer. I'm going to keep him going as much as we can, really. We just got the shout that he's nearly full again, so we are back here to hopefully offload him. I've also got a problem with the bales. So I've got 2 left to pick up, but I was struggling to pick them up and I've ended up rolling one down the hill and I flipped one over. So, yeah. Crikey, that is us full. I better drop this off. Thankfully, it's not going to go far. Hopefully, we'll just dump all this in here. It will only do one at a time. That's good. Boom. 2 done. Very nice. Park him up here for now. Hopefully he'll fill up when the harvester comes back and I'll get back to me bales. So this is potentially going to be the last set that I drop off. So what I'll do is I'll take these down, I'll get the wrapper, I'll start to wrap everything that I've piled up. Hopefully it'll be enough to complete the contract. Oh, that's an expensive wage packet. So the helpers, yeah, they're helpful, but they're expensive, which is a little bit less than ideal. There's no way he's got another 80% full grain tank. No way. Will it sell? Yes, it will. Okay, so it's going to be tedious, but this is what we're going to be doing. Although if each bale is 10%, we should do this really quickly. I knew it was going to be too good to be true. We were getting 10% every bale, and then we didn't. Although, that one seemed to be okay, so it feels like there's a difference in some of the bales. So, in theory, 98% transported. We just need one more bale, and that will get us done, right? The rest is all just profit. Yes. Okay. So we've got 747 for that bale to be sold. Do we get anything for this one now that the contract is technically over with? I do. Yes, that's what we like to see. Well, the problem there is this bale's too big to be wrapped by this wrapper, and then I've got 2 bales that are stuck somewhere in the hills. But they are going to make me money, so it makes sense that I get them. I'll just empty this bad boy up though, so we can collect this contract. Then I need to take that second trailer so we can leave that behind. Oh, so close, look at that. I will get this sold off and then we'll close that contract out. Do have another couple of harvesting contracts that are a nice enough size to be able to stick a worker on it, so I think I'm going to do that because there's another one just here for 3 grand. Got a little bit from that harvesting and income. That was good. That is that contract finished. So what we can do is collect that all out and sort out the other one. It's a rather nice looking harvester. So the total that we've got so far after the last couple of contracts is 10k. Haven't collected the contract for baling field just yet because obviously still tickling our way through it. So we've got to go down here. It's the field at the end. There we go. We'll put a worker on him. We'll get out. We'll leave him to it. Have a good one, boss. I'll be real with you. I have no idea where this bale's rolled to, but I cannot find it anywhere at all. This is also a reason why I hate these bushes. You can't see anything. It's like here and it's rolled this way, but there's no bale. There's a bale. Oh, okay. There you go. Next to that tree. That's going to be fun to get out. Oh, we got it. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, cool. Ooh, we're a little bit front heavy now, but we've got what we came here for. So here's the thing. I've just had a look at where I can sell grass, and so far I can only sell it at the animal dealer, which is a long way away, and it's really not going to sell for an awful lot. So with that in mind, I'm going to leave that grass bale there. What that does mean, however, is that potentially I've got a free grass bale for when I'm established and I need one. We finish this just in time, really. So we can end this contract, collect all the goodies, and then we can go and help the other guy out. So we need this. It's pretty beefy. Come on, boss man, what you got for us? You finished? Yes, he has. Oh, we're going to get loads in this. Grab field 52, because that's one that we can do. What's happened here? The worker quit on us? That's unusual. How bizarre. Anyway, we'll get him off and running again. We can start ourselves up over here. It's another double trailer. Not my favourite. Yahoo, this is us. We've got to do this one. Won't really matter how we do it, just as long as we get it done. And I can sit in this one, really. Because the worker's on the other one. I can sit and do this one. The good news is the helper has finished with his field. Bad news is I've made a bit of a meal out of this one. Just run over what I can to get this reasonably neat. And luckily, we're going to need to empty this before, really. Before we do that, though, we can load this fella up. Hopefully we've got the room for it. There we go. Just empty this harvester a bit as well. And then that should be enough room for him to continue. And we'll just run both of these to their required locations, empty them, come back, boom, jobs are good in. Right, everybody's good there. This fella is good here. So we can run this dude off now. I'm sure it says to the cereals factory. Somewhere in here. I hazard a guess and say here? Surely not. Maybe. Strange place to dump it though. Oh, if they're happy, I'm happy. Beautiful. He'll be done really quickly, really. We should get that second trailer. It'd make more sense. And we can just run them up in a wanna. Ah, the dreaded trailer hookup. So we'll do it the old school way. Just rub it nicely. There we go. Got him. We'll do this ourselves. Just finish it off, really. Beautiful. So that's that all harvested up. Then we'll just sell it all up. Bada bing, bada boom. Now hopefully this should probably be the last job for the day, really. Easy dub. Easily done. Okay. So that's going to leave us kind of wandering the town at night, really. Nowhere to be, nowhere to stay. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll get this contract collected and then I guess I'll see if I can find a room in the town, somewhere to stay. Somebody will have me. Unless I just sleep in the barn. Got an idea. I mean, this looks pretty abandoned, right? Nobody's here. There's no machinery or anything like that. The hammock. Well, I guess I found my place to sleep tonight. Okay. Well, a reasonably good night's sleep. It was cheap. That's for sure, it was cheap. It's probably the best thing that we could have done. I just need to start earning more money. Cheapest field that I've seen is actually this field through here. This little fella here. It's about 49,000. We're a little bit of a way off. We've got some more harvesting contracts that we could do. So I think it would be smart to get onto those. Fertilizing contracts, there's a few that we could jump onto, but the fertilizer is expensive. So I'm actually going to look at the fertilizing contract, but I'm going to look at leasing stuff. So I'm going to lease a tractor and I'm going to lease a sprayer. And we're going to try and do as many of the fertilizing contracts as we can do. And we'll hope that that can do something for us. So over the course of the next day, I thought it would be a smart idea to lease a tractor and some spray equipment, so that we could spray a lot of the fertilizing contracts. It got to the point where I was running out of fertilizer and I thought it would be a smart idea to use a helper, knowing that the helper could buy his own fertilizer as he sprays. Little did I know this wasn't such a good idea. It cost me more money than it would have done if I would have just bought some more fertilizer. But at least I was smart enough to also run a lot more harvesting contracts. So we were doing a lot of harvesting and we were doing a lot of spraying on this day. It did make us a little bit of money. Choo choo. To the rescue, as it were. It feels very weedy. It's got loads of weeds in it. It wasn't massive money, but it did make us a little bit of money. However, it still wasn't enough to end the day in a position that we could buy the field. And we are finally home for the night, if you can call it home. I know it's pretty much an abandoned barn. Anyway, let's see what tomorrow brings. We were able to sleep a little bit longer today because the contracts, they weren't changing. I think I'm going to take this all back. It might be a big mistake, but I'm going to get that cultivating contract. I'm going to return all of this. Fertilizing is just going to be too expensive to go from here on in. 2 grand's not a bad shout, you know. It's going to get us there. It will get us there eventually. Field 50. We've just harvested field 50 as well, so they're moving on that one. Getting it done. That's awesome. We'll get this down. We'll get this sorted. No messing. Easy 2 grand, right? Give or take. So this is going to be the field that we're looking to get. I notice it's not had any crops go into it the whole time, really. So I've got to decide if I do get to it, like, what am I going to do there? Because it's not very big, and I don't really have an awful lot of money, obviously. My initial thought was to try and get some sheep. I'm going to have to buy the land, then I'm going to have to buy the pen. They'll just eat grass, which is good, because grass is really cheap, but I still have to have a way of cutting and collecting. But let's also not forget that by the time we've cut and collected the grass, it's still 50,000 for the land, and I'm sure it's about 50,000 for a pen. Then it's 10 grand for sheep, nearly 110 grand just to get us going. Whereas if I can just get something in the field, it's going to turn me a profit. That'd be handy. It's a tricky one, really. I suppose most people would probably say go grass and go silage, which is, you know, that's okay. Grass, actually, it might not be a bad shout, because we only need to plant it, and then once we plant it, we can even get rid of the planter for the grass, because it'll just grow, and then we just mow it, grow it, mow it. So if we're looking at crops that have multiple harvests in one life, off the top of my head, we're literally looking at grass or sugar. So grass is going to be the cheaper of the two. It's probably where we're going to end up. And so that's going to be a nice little pretty penny that we got there. Finished! Awesome. We might as well stop because you don't get anything for doing the extra little bits. Not in this game. Would do if it was harvested. You get to sell all the other stuff, but contract is completed. He's happy. Let's go. Should be able to drop that off. Drop this down and begin. Whee. Okay, cool. And Shazam. Don't mind me parking the harvester in the middle of the road, but it's done what I needed it to do. The trailer is, it's not even full, but it is ready to go, so we can hook this up, and that is another contract. Ka-ching! We're chipping away and chipping away. It's going to at least be another day before we can actually get some sort of something. It's a long process, this. It really is a long process. Another 4,000 will get me enough to get a field, which I don't see as getting very easy. Well, that's all that we can do. We've collected the final contract that we've got, and it's still short. So all we've got left is to hide away in our secret barn and just sleep it off until tomorrow, really. I wake up early because I went to sleep a bit early. But, yeah, looking at the contracts, we've got some biggies. We've got a massive baling one here. I feel 71, if I remember, is huge. Yeah, it's massive. That might take us all day. But it's a 24,000 contract. I've got a harvest one activated. That turned up just before I went to sleep, and I thought I'd better jump on that. So it makes sense in a way. But this baling one, I've got to do it. It just makes sense to do it. I'm going to try and set up the harvester on field 63, even though it's pitch black. Just set them all up and get ready to go and try and get some work done today. This is a promising day. I just accepted the contract for the field. I didn't borrow the equipment. What was going to be a reasonably decent contract has now just got a bit harder. That's okay. I'll have to have a look, see what equipment we can do it with. Try and do the best we can, really. See what we need. But for now, I'll get this started and I'll worry about that in a bit. Just trying to think how we're going to get the maximum out of that grass contract now. I've screwed it by just accepting it rather than leasing the goodies. If I get bigger equipment, it's going to cost me way more money to lease it, so I'm not going to get the benefit of the contract being as much as it is. If I get smaller equipment, it's going to take me so long to do it. In fact, I should probably put a helper on this field just so that I can actually get started on the grass. I know it's early, it's nearly 10 to 8 in the morning, but I've got to start on that grass, else it's just going to take so long. So I'm going to go for a baler wrapper combi. That's 4,000 already, and I need a tractor. Might be this thing, might be the best that we've got. That is painful, but it's all we can do because we screwed up. Let's just get on with it. It's going to be a while. Oh, this is going to be a long day. Oh no. This is going to take forever at this speed. I thought we had a tractor that was wily enough to deal with it. Well, see you in about 6 days. Okay, so here's the thing. It moves a lot quicker when it is just doing one or the other, not both. Not sure if that is of benefit to me or not. Well, the good news is that is the field contract harvested, finished, done. But the grass field, oh my days, it is such slow progress. Okay. So that was a long time. Pretty much all done, hopefully. There's a few little strips here and there. Probably isn't going to be enough for a bale. Somewhat succeeded in wrapping them all up. Look at them. There's loads of them. It would have been better if I'd have actually managed to get the contract with the machinery. But there you go. And now I go get a trailer. So this trailer can take 24. And this is what we're going to have to lease. And we're going to have to lease it for another 2.5 grand. I think if we start down this end of the field and get all of these bales, it's going to be a little bit better for us because obviously we're going to get closer and closer to the bio plant. 3 bales away from a full trailer, and it's actually made quite a bit of a dent. I didn't expect it to do that, but yeah, we'll get these sold and we'll come back and get some more. First set of bales arriving at the bio plant. Now I should just push them in, right? Is that how it works? Yeah, there we go. Sort of. Yes. Jolly good. So this is the second set of bales that I dropped off, and this actually completed the contract, which was pretty awesome because the field was still full of bales, which meant I was able to make a lot of profit. So what I'm saying is, all of these bales that are left are just all profit. The contract's done. The contract is finished. It's delivered what we needed to deliver. So this is money, which is absolutely brilliant for us. And then we've got to drop them off and see what we actually make from it. Right, let's see. What do we get? Because this is going to be really handy money. Hopefully we'll get good money for the contract. And hopefully we get good money for the bales. In fact, it should put us over the 50 mark anyway, just with the contract added on alone. So we'll see what happens. We'll get this unloaded. Bring us the money. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. 17 grand worth of bales. And then if we collect the contract as well, 73,000. This could see us getting our first actual owned piece of land. The reason why I want to go for the cheapest bit is obviously I have more money then to spend on equipment and whatever else I might need. Is there anything planted in the field? Yes, there is. This is the field that we're going to go for. So what is planted? Barley. We can grab this. We can grab this. So we're going to go buy this one then. Thank you very much. This belongs to us. Now I've got 24 grand. So with us now getting this land, it only makes sense that we try and get us a little trailer or something. So we managed to find this nice little caravan. Going to be good for us. We'll keep it under the trees. Try and keep it off the main bit of the land. We've still got quite a bit of money. It was only £1,000. It was at this point that I was trying to work out what to actually do, because I couldn't afford to get any sheep at the moment. And knowing that I was growing barley, I was looking at potentially getting some chickens, because the chickens would eat the barley. The only problem there is I didn't have an awful lot of money, and I wasn't really 100% sure how much chickens were going to cost me. So I was toying between the idea of chickens and bees for some honey. So I jumped into the market to have a look at their high and low points of selling the eggs and the high and low points of selling the honey, and decided that the difference between the high and low in the honey was actually better than the difference between the high and the low in the eggs, meaning I could sell the honey at any time and wouldn't really lose out an awful lot, even though it had a lower, higher value than the eggs did. I hope you're keeping up. Just a couple of hives just to keep us slowly ticking over, and at least now I have a guaranteed income, even if it's just a small amount. There's going to be a lot more contracts that need to be worked until I get good enough money that I can actually start to afford things for my own place, but I've got a field full of barley and I've got some bees. I think we're on a good path. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So with it getting dark, I know it's not exactly amazing, but it is home for now. Can't go wrong. Okay, so we established some land, and we just leased a tractor. And we got some honey. We do have some honey already. Not a lot, but I can carry it. So I'm going to take this to the shop. I'm going to sell it and get a little bit more money in. Ooh, there we go. Yay, that was 42 quid. Cool. Due to the fact that we're going to be really slim on the ground financially, I am going to have to be doing contracts until we get this field in a condition that is going to be good for us. Okay, well that's interesting. 2 harvesting contracts, 1 cultivating contract. So we just crack on and get those done. I can run a worker on most of them. First one that we've got to harvest. It's not actually very big. I thought it was a bit bigger than it was, but it's not. So that's good. It's a nice way to make a little bit of cash whilst the honey's honeying. Thankfully, that is the first one harvest. We just got to wagon it up and get out of here. And then we've got to go get the next one. So here's the thing. I've done both of the harvests now, and they both need to be delivered, but annoyingly they need to be delivered to different places. So this is the first harvester, and this needs going to like the oil mill thing. We can stuff all of this into one. Should fit. And then I've got to go to the other side of the maps to pick up the second trailer, and then we'll go round. We'll drop it all off, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. I'll see you at the next harvester. And this is our good friend harvester number 2, and he needs to be unloaded at the south grain deposit thing. At least we gained an extra £192 from that for our own little pocket. So then somewhere up here should be the little oil mill, which I'm guessing is that thing that's got oils written all over it. Hey, there we go. So that got us just over 450 quid to our back pocket. So that's 2 contracts done. We've just got the cultivating contract left to do, which is no biggie because we're right here anyway. So this is it. This is our neighbours, and this is where we are. And this is all we've got to do. So we just zoom around here, get this sorted. That'd be some more money. We'll be laughing. Hopefully, pretty soon, this contract is going to tell us that it's completed. Because it doesn't really care about us having a full field, so should be somewhere soon. Is there any more? I don't know. I haven't actually looked. I'm hoping that there will be. Else, otherwise, I'm going to have to sleep. There we go. That is that finished. Cool. So there is no more contracts. That's not good. With our continuous struggle trying to get hold of some sort of daily income, and whilst I had the money, I thought I would get a greenhouse. A greenhouse just made sense because I could set this thing up to sell, and it would sell every hour any product that it produced. Obviously, it did bring its own slight issues in that I needed to be able to get water to it. So that would mean that I'd have to lease a vehicle to pull a trailer and a trailer to get water to the greenhouse. Now, this wasn't as much of a problem as it could have been. Thankfully, we were able to get hold of 2 relatively cheap things that we could get on lease, and we were able to use those things to bring water to the greenhouse. It has taken me some time to run this water backwards and forwards, but there's still no contracts available. And I am still making a little bit of money, so all is not lost. We have no new contracts coming at all. We only had 3 today and we did them all. There's nothing else that I can do at the minute. There's nothing that I can do. There's literally nothing else that I can do. I can't help any farmers. I can't do anything with my own farm, if I can call it that. I've just got to wait for the honey produce. I've got to wait for the barley to grow, and basically the greenhouse is doing its own thing. It's topped up with water. That'll keep producing overnight. It'll keep selling it off automatically. Ooh, that's a lot. Although 202 for leasing's pretty nice. 100 for property maintenance. And £1 for production costs. I don't mind that necessarily. We've got an income. We went to bed with just over 700 quid and we've woke up with just over 900 quid. We have some cultivating contracts to do. We might as well take them while we can. Bit of cultivating to go a long way, hopefully. Couple of fields. Just over another grand. Crack on. Let's get to it. And that is cultivated field number 1. We've got a real small one to do next, and the problem is, again, we are out of contracts. The winter months are not good for contracts, it would seem. We'll pretty much complete this contract just by scribbling a line down the middle. There we go. Jobs are good. I'm going to collect these contracts and see what's left. Beauty! So we broke 2,000 now, so that's nice. We don't have any contracts today. There's none. There's not a lot else to do, which is quite disappointing. Which is just reinforcing the fact that we need to get ourselves in a position where we don't need to rely on contracts for money. Well, unfortunately, it was a little bit quiet and there wasn't an awful lot to do, so we took it to hibernating. But now, the good news is we have contracts. Ho, 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 ho. We are in a contractor's dream right now. Look at all these bale contracts. I'll accept and borrow these items, and then I will accept this one and accept this one. Okay, we've got a lot of baling to do, and the reason why I picked the baling is because we get to sell all the excess bales afterwards, hopefully. So let's have a look, see what we can do. Let's make some money. We've got a few days that we need to catch up on. There's slight contract issues that meant we really lost a few months where there was absolutely nothing to do other than watch barley grow and watch bees collect honey. So it's not been a very good couple of months for us. I know we're cutting a bit earlier than the field, but let's just get on with it, shall we? Oh, it feels like a good day. Feels like a very good day. Okay, that is all 3 fields chopped up for good. We can now go and fetch the windrower. So here's the thing. In my haste to get these contracts, I failed to recognise that some of them needed to be hay. So what I haven't actually got is a tedder. So slight boo-boo, but I'm hopeful that it's actually the smaller fields that need tedding. So get all this baled and this gets wrapped again. We had a good amount of bales off this one last time, didn't we? And this is where we first realised that baling contracts were nice to us because they gave us some good money. So with one field all baled up, ready to go, we're just going to ted this all out, ted that all out, windrow this, windrow that, bale them both, and then go and collect them all. And that's all fields baled up, ready to go. So now I've just got to get the wrapper. So the 2 smaller contracts are going to the same place. So if I use the trailer, I'll pick them both up and take them. It's going to get me 2 contracts completed, which then means I can get 2 more contracts, because there are a couple more baling contracts to do, using the equipment that I've got here, meaning that I can use all of this equipment to do all of the baling contracts. So that is exactly what we want. Because now we can go and drop this off. Let's see how lucky we get with these here bales then, shall we? What are they going to offer us? 2 completed contracts and an extra 1,000 isn't bad at all. So this is what I'm saying. We can collect these 2. And then we can pick up these 2. Just let me double check where we're going. Mow and wrap. Mow and wrap. Beautiful. So after successfully completing those bale contracts, I thought it'd be a good idea to see if we could invest this money in something else. And the thought was chickens. Since we're growing barley, we're going to be able to use the barley that we get and put it towards chicken feed, which is then going to give us the eggs to sell. And it's trying to invest and reinvest the resources that we have into better things to make us a bit more profit. While we were waiting for the barley to grow, I need to buy chicken feed. But I also thought, whilst I've got a little bit of money, it might make sense to buy a telehandler as well. I don't need anything massive expensive at the moment, so we looked to the store for one of the cheapest options that money can buy so that we can actually own this outright. And I think owning it outright would make sense because it's something that we're going to need all the time, so there's no reason just to lease it. We might as well own it, and then if we come to something that's too heavy, then we can always upgrade. We own this now. This is ours. I don't have to worry about leasing costs or anything on it. Hopefully it's going to have enough power to do what we need it to do. It actually doesn't. That is unexpected. Okay, so we can do it if we take our time, but that was really unexpected to struggle. But that's the chucks feed. So hopefully we'll be actually able to lift up the honey as well. The chucks are fed, bees are being. We are happy. So I'm just trying to get a few more contracts in before my barley is ready to harvest. But I do feel I'm going to be spending a couple of months just hitting contracts and plugging them through just so I've got a bit of money. We do seem to be getting the odd one or two baling contracts again, which is obviously brilliant. I prefer baling contracts to anything because, well, any excess we can sell, and we sell pretty good with baling contracts, so you can't go too far wrong with that. Oh, goody good news. Field 71, that big thing. So luckily I was smart enough to actually grab the contract this time with all the supplies. So one of those trailers is actually with it, the other one's mine. But that's going to make things a little easier. This is insane. This covers so much ground and it's so much quicker. That's slightly annoying. I'm one bale over. I'm not going to be able to carry it. But that is that mahoosive contract done. And let me tell you, that mower is something special. So, let's see what the final outcome is. Completed pretty quick into the bales, so hopefully this extra money that we're making is going to be quite a lot. 20 grand plus one more bale. And if we just claim these two contracts, another 50,000. That is good. Soon this is going to be ready and we're going to need some money to harvest it, but I also would like to have a look at land expansion. So our cheapest lots are number 2 and number 4. Unfortunately, we're just short of having enough money for number 2, which is probably a good thing, because if I did have enough money, I'd end up buying it and then having nothing for a harvester for this lot. So I just thought I'd do a couple more contracts just to get a little bit more money, just in case I did want to buy that field. It also gives us a little bit of a buffer when it comes to leasing equipment for our own field. So we've just finished a couple of contracts and now we need a harvester for this. But the problem that I'm having is where I'm going to store the barley that we've harvested. Other than sitting in a trailer, I don't really know. I don't really want to do that, but I don't have much other option at the minute. I'm going to lease the cheapest of the harvesters. We're going to lease the cheapest of the headers, because we don't really need anything. It's only a small field. Well, this is us. So we'll see what we can get into this. I'm just thinking what I need to get realistically, because are you going to make straw? So I need a baler. I'm going to have the barley to actually dump after I've harvested it. So I'm going to need a trailer, which means I need a tractor to pull all of that stuff. I'm going to want a seeder, although a direct drill would be nice, but it's all going to be leased. So what I think I'll do is I'll get myself set on this field, and then I'll worry about where we are financial wise anywhere else. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm just going to buy this outright, because we're always going to need a trailer, right? So if I've got that, then I've got it. I don't need to worry about it. Curiosity killed the cat, and it turns out that this little buggy can pull this trailer. I didn't expect it to. I can't lie, I am slightly intrigued to see if this thing can tow it when it's got any load, but obviously I'm not expecting it to be able to. Oh, it can. It's a struggle, but it can. I don't really know where to put this though, that's the other question. If I could dump it here in the pen, that'd be really good. Hopefully I won't make too much of a mess. And this is a less than ideal place to put it, but I'm just trying to free up the harvester. I'm just trying to keep hold of it myself so that I can use it for the chickens. I don't have anywhere to store it at the minute. Okay, so here's the thing. It might seem a little bit overkill with the tractor that we've leased. I appreciate that, don't worry about it, especially for the tiny little baler that we've got, because this is the smallest and cheapest baler. I thought that was the potentially better way to go. trying to keep the costs down. I had a look at the direct drills, and the cheapest direct drill that I could buy required 150 horses on the tractor. So this is where we're at with the tractor. Finished using the baler, and I've got to say there's some pros and there's some cons. And I think there's probably a lot more cons than there is pros to using the small baler. Although, a couple of pros, you can pick them up. Easy enough to move around. But cons, oh my days, it takes so long. It's kind of easy to underestimate how small these are and how much straw you can actually get. I've only been doing like 9s. I noticed if I go any taller, they seem to get a little bit wild and a little bit loose. So I stuck with 9s. We've been going over here, just putting them by the back of the greenhouse. It is what it is, I don't mind, as long as they're all together in one place in a somewhat semi-neat fashion, then I'm okay with that. So here's the thing, in order to keep nice money rolling in, I have to keep dropping off onto good contracts. This is to cultivate big field, obviously, it's a 10 grand contract. So far I'm waiting to plant my field, but it's just trying to keep that money coming in. So while I had a little low moment, I decided I would try and hammer some contracts. It's the only way at the minute that I can get decent money coming in. So I've been putting a lot of my time towards doing quite a few contracts, getting some helpers, getting as many going as I can at a time, just trying to get a good chunk of money. So after doing a few contracts and getting a little bit of money, I thought it would be better off to plant the field once again. So that's what we're doing. We're throwing in some barley, getting the barley down. But we do have enough money to buy either of the two fields that we're next to. And I think that we'll actually get that one over there. Might move the animals over into that corner so that as we go we can expand and we can grow, and we'll use all the fields out this way as our feed and crop fields. Leave that corner for all the animals. So now that we've got our field all planted up, we've got our chickens, everything's going well, I am going to get this field. I want to get this one. It just makes a lot of sense. It's still growing, I'm not that bothered by it. So there we go, we are now proud landowners of two places, because the aim is to get sheep. If I can get sheep, I can get a spinnery and starting to produce some sort of cloth, heading towards clothes, because that makes us good money. One more thing, I am going to get rid of this fella. We are leasing him, and I'm going to upgrade him for something else. His capacity is very small, and his towing ability is quite light. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the shop, and we're going to get ourselves something new. We're going to get this. I think this is going to be good for us. It does have a towing hitch, so it should be able to carry the water butt pretty well. We're going to lease this. Keep it all spec standard, but this is a little bit better for us. So it's the same thing, just scaled up, because we are producing more honey now. And with the bees, as many as we've got now, they are producing honey pretty quick. So a couple of days and, you know, usually we've got another pallet full. So we can carry more in this. We could maybe look at upscaling the chicken coop at some point. I know I said that I wanted this thing because I know I bought it as well. That's the annoying thing. I bought this because it was like a good investment. The problem is I have already moved one pallet of honey, and I must say I did not expect the problems that I had. This thing struggles. Sometimes the back comes up when we're trying to lift honey. There we go. So it's not as strong as I first anticipated it to be. As you can see, we are rear in the air. But it's got a long enough reach, it can do the job that we want it to do. Jobs are good, and just make sure that that's tucked in there. There we go, right up against the bed. Sorted. And already there's another pallet that's, well, 2/3 of the way done. It hooks up to the water, so all is well. And on that note, I better go top this up. Looks like it's struggling a little bit. Pretty empty. So we'll go fill the water tub up, bring it back to the greenhouses, make sure they're all well and good. But yeah, this is way better. So after running the water backwards and forwards a few times, I was able to lease a harvester so we could harvest these soybeans. The idea here is I'm going to turn this field into grass so that we can get a lot of animal production going. Getting the grass will mean I can get the grass obviously, and get the hay, and even silage when it comes to it. So I can start building up the food for cows and sheep so that we can get to that point. So that is that field all grassed up, ready to go. I think that means we can get rid of this combination here because we're not going to be needing to seed anything for a while. I thought it'd be a good time to go on a bit of a mad blitz and try and get some money. Obviously at the minute that meant I had to do some contracts. It actually meant I had to do a lot of contracts. Probably a lot more than you thought. But this is a great way to get some money coming in. It is a small trickle, but if you can get a good baling contract, you can make some really good money. So this is what I tried to do. Tried to get a lot of money so that I could go to the next phase. So after doing a few contracts, I was lucky enough to be able to spend some money. But the good news was, just now I have had a look-see. This mower and this baler were for sale in the store. So all in, it's cost us about 30,000. I have just leased this tractor as well, because I've got some grass that wants cutting. Still don't have any sheep yet, but I have managed to move and upscale chicken shed. So I've actually got a bigger chicken shed. Don't have many chickens in it. I think I got about 40 chickens in it. I bought quite a few of the really cheap ones, so they weren't producing eggs straight away. So egg production is lower than it was, but we have the potential for expansion. So as you see, we have a grass field. This is all planted and turned into grass. Happy days. This is the new chicken shed that we've got. So we made some swapsies and we got into here. Yeah, we got 50 chickens. Most of them were not egg producers. They were cheaper to buy, and I thought, you know what, we'll overlap and away we go. Ooh, slow tractor. I seem to have leased a tractor that is not very capable. Here we go. So fingers crossed this should have a little bit more grunt to it and be capable to run both at the same time now. So onwards and upwards. Now the plan is to try and either get one of two things. I want to get that whole area over there where that barn is. That's a big area, but if we get that, it should free up a lot of stuff. And I would like to potentially look at turning that into our industry. If we can get that, we can concrete it all and then maybe look at moving everything over there. I started to spend a lot of time doing a lot of contracts, but I didn't want to keep boring you with the same footage over and over again. So I kind of cut all that out and just jumped to the important bits. Else otherwise this video is just going to be full of contract work. And nobody wants that. So after many days of contract working, I managed to buy this whole section, and as you can see, I've concreted a good chunk of it for some sort of industry. It doesn't take an awful lot of contracts to get where you want to get if you can get a lot done at the same time. Yes, workers do kind of eat into that contract money, but they also help you get a load done. So we've got the shed. We'll get some sheep. Now, I don't intend on getting too many sheep. I know that they will reproduce over time. So we'll get a nice clean 30. Run them in. Boom. They are there. I just got to get them some grass now. Get them fed. So I got another greenhouse. This greenhouse was going to replace the other greenhouse. But at the minute, whilst they're running two incomes, it's going to be better to keep them both. I've got strawberries going off in this one, just to try and diversify things a little bit. And the barley is also now ready to harvest, so we're going to crack on. We're going to harvest that up. Hopefully we can store that in the chicken coop, because the chickens are going to need it for feed. And then we're going to bale up all of the straw that we've created, and then try and decide what we're going to do with the excess. I don't really want to sell the straw, because if I want to get cows, then it could come in handy. But at the same time, if I just keep hold of everything, I'm literally not going to make any money. And that's a very bad way to farm. So I was having a little bit of thinking whilst I was harvesting what I am going to do with all the straw. And I think it'd make a lot of sense if I actually sold all of the little square bales, because they are just crazy. So if I sell all of them, and then whatever bales I get here, we maybe store these or keep these or something. But I think that's the options that I'm at now. Just trying to squeeze the barley, if we can fit any, into the chicken coop. And then once that is full, we'll just fill up the rest of the trailer. So if we just run over and try and bale all of the straw up, we'll set it to 150 size bales in the hope that, you know, we'll get a few, but not a ridiculous amount. So that is all of the straw baled up. Now, unfortunately, we didn't have enough to finish off this last bale, and we only got 3 out of it, but they are 150s, so they are kind of meaty anyway. The other problem is, I don't have a telehandler or anything, because I sold it. I sold it because I needed the money, and it was frustrating me that it was tipping up all the time. Selling these guys, we can still pick these up by hand. So what I am going to do is load this up with some of these bales, and we'll take them to wherever we can sell them. I don't really know, and I don't really care at the minute. I need some more money, so what we're going to do is basically, yeah, load these up with bales, sell these bales, get the money, and then go back to the good old contracts, I'm afraid. It's unfortunately that, you know, money making takes time, and we're not making millions at the minute. We've got to be relying on those contracts to actually get us somewhere and allow us to produce what we need to produce. But, you know, they're a reliable income. They are there, so make the most of it. Now, we haven't got loads in here, but we've got to be careful of our weight, because I know this thing likes to roll over when it goes around corners, bless it. So we are going to be very gentle I don't suppose I'm going to get millions, but we've got to go to the Southwest Bio Plant. So we'll get these down there, we'll drop them off, and we'll see what tiny little money we do make. Okay, how are we looking? How are we looking? Is it going to let me sell them? It is. Well, that was a lot less than I was expecting. It's going to be a long grind. A few contracts later, with a little bit of money. So after we nailed a lot of contracts, I went to the store, and this fella, he was on sale at the store. So I decided I would invest in a front-end loader attachment for it, being as I already had the bucket and the forks. It got me a tractor for quite cheap. It was 65,000, and then obviously the front-end loader attachment I had to buy brand new. But for what it's worth, it ticks a lot of boxes. It lets me run the baler and the mower at the same time. It's a front-end loader attachment, so I don't have to get a separate vehicle. You know what I mean? It kind of two birds, one stone situation. I need to plant that field, but things are a bit tight, so I don't know if I should wait. At the minute, I don't need barley as such. So we've got this growing. Obviously, I don't have a weeder, so it's covered in weeds. But this can also be chicken feed. I've got 4,000 litres in the trailer of chicken feed. I've got a field's worth of feed there. So we're looking good. It just means that we don't have any straw. And that's not a big issue because I don't really have anything to do with the straw other than sell it at the moment. Ideally, I do need to get a crop into this field. We'll clear the straw bales out of the way. I know these are not exactly put away. It gets them out of the way, gets them off the land, gets them under cover. Honey is at a... you know, it's an okay price if I can get it to the farmer's market. So any excess money, I'm going to have a look at potentially getting hold of some more sheep. Just got another pallet of honey as well after dropping this one off. So that's always fun. So in theory, if I can sell all 4 of these, it should be 3,000 something. And on top of the 6 that we've already got, or nearly 7, have a look at what that can do for us in terms of some sheep. Bulk up the number of sheep that we've got. The more sheep we've got, the more wool we can make. Oh, that's another pallet as well. Wowzers. The more wool we can make, you know, the better the profit is to sell that. And then if we can sell that and get us up towards getting hold of the spinnery, that's obviously going to be even better again. The tiny amount that we do sell, topped off with all the endless amounts of blinking contracts that we keep doing, we are going to get ourselves into a better position. Oh, these are only 400. I thought they were 1,000 litres. They're only 400. Ah, okay. That's not going to be as good as I thought it was. But there we go. That's all of the honey that we had loaded up. We just got to take our time and drop these off. No sharp corners. Right, catch a bit. Well, I don't mind saying that that was a very delicate drive just to get here. Hopefully we can turn without rolling over. We can, good. And then we can make some sales. Yeah, just over 3,000. I thought it was going to be closer to 4, and then I realised that they were 400 litres and not 1,000 litres. But, you know, it's a nice little 10. So we will go back, we'll have a look, see what extra sheep we can buy, and kind of keep them things rolling in. So I spent about 6k on some new sheep, but you didn't see that because of, well, reasons. So just looking at the prices, sorghum, which we are just about to try and harvest here, sells for a better price than barley, so we can pretty much harvest this and sell this straight away. I'm pretty sure we can use barley either to make flour or to make cereal. I can't remember, I'll have to double check. But what I could do is if we get barley in this field, we get barley in the barley field, got enough to grow for the chickens for feed, and then what we've also got is any excess we could put towards production. The idea then is to barley everything up, and obviously I've got to invest in a grain silo, store any excesses that we've got for the short time, building up the amount of stuff that we have so that we can look to expand for the future. Just keep things kind of piling up if we can. I think I rushed which direct drill I grabbed because the one that I picked up, the little tractor that I've got, isn't powerful enough for it, so we've had to lease some equipment, and then I tried to plant in the wrong day, and now I've gone over a day, and as you see, we are in the minus numbers, which isn't fantastic. There is a couple of pallets of wool that are ready to go though, so we won't be in the minus numbers for long once we get planting. We could sell those straw bales as well, those little ones. Now obviously I won't get loads for them, but something's better than nothing, right? Quick little straw run, try and pull back some money. Won't be a lot, obviously. It's only going to be like 200 quid or something. He gets rid of the straw out of our way, and it's a little bit of money. That wasn't too bad. 500 quid. It's a bit more than I was expecting. So that's good. No way are we selling the wool. It's lower than the lowest price that shows on the board, so I am not going to sell it that. But honey, you know, it's the same place that it was last time we sold it. So again, it's not its highest, but I don't really mind selling the honey when it's near its lowest because it's not a big price difference. We're not worried about that. We'll get this sorted, get this honey gone. There we go. Did wonder if that second pallet was going to drop. We should get a nice amount here. And then we can just hit more contracts and more contracts and more contracts. No more pallets going to drop. We do have some eggs as well. Best place is the farmer's market. Same with the honey actually. So, could grab those eggs, run them over to the farmer's market with the honey. There we go. We survived. You know what? Let's throw the rest of the straw up there as well. We're going that way. We might as well drop this off at the animal dealer. First things first, we drop the straw off. See what we get for this. Probably not a lot. It's only like 6 bales or something. We sell all this stuff. Come on. It's not bad. There we go. So just over 2.5 grand. Happy days. It's progress. It is progress. It shows that we're going in the right direction. But I'm just going to have to hit contracts like an absolute loon now. Try and get some money back and actually try and get us somewhere. Good luck, have fun. I'll be honest with you, this farming thing is hard. Starting with absolutely nothing and trying to build up is incredibly difficult. You don't realise how easy it is to spend money in a farm than it is to make money. And so I didn't make the million, but I think I've got myself established enough that we can actually go somewhere with it. I've got 4 fields, I've got chickens, I've got sheep. I also managed to buy myself a spinnery so we can turn that wool into cloth. We have got 2 greenhouses currently. So we are able to make a little bit of money. Problem is the day to day and sometimes even the month to month is a small amount of money. And it kind of doesn't really do anything. It shows you how the complexities of farming are, where you spend more time working the land than you do getting paid. So although we didn't necessarily achieve the goal of hitting 1 million, if you go back to the very start of the video, you'll realise I wanted to go from nothing to something. And I would argue something is exactly what we've got.